Snooker Loopy, not a we, me and him and them and me. We'll show you what we can do with a load of balls of the snooker cue. Pot the red and screw back for the yellow, green, brown, blue, pink and black. Snooker Loopy, not a we. We're all Snooker Loopy. Cheers, boys.
Hello and welcome to the Snooker Loopy podcast. My name is Tom Mayhew and I'm joined, as always, by the cat, Joe Hannard.
Well, a very good evening, Hazel. A very good evening, everybody at home. And, as you're listening to this, I will most probably be within the CRUCIBLE grounds, Tom. So I'm time travelling back into the past to record this and round up what was indeed a Super Saturday. I predicted it well, Tom.
I do think that's going to catch on, especially if Saturdays are always as good as it's been today, because there's only one word for it, Joe. A cracker. It's an absolute cracker, Dennis would say. Yep. And, I mean, it's hard to pick highlights. Usually there's one bit that stands out, but, you know, all the matches have been decent quality today. And it's been exactly what you'd hope for from the second round, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you what, there was also another Crucible classic on Snooker 19 today as well, if people haven't caught to yesterday's episode. And, you know, if you haven't really watched much of it, I'd certainly recommend watching the last 20 minutes or so. It was
cross promotion here for Captain Goodspeed
it's not
on
really,
YouTube.
But it contributed to Super Saturday. Every day at 5 o'clock during the World Championships.
There we go. If you want to see, I mean, it's the last time Joe can really plug his Snooker 19 series because he's going to be ending it soon.
He is, yeah. 630 episodes in. I'm hanging up the queue, as they might say, or at least I'm hanging up that queue and getting another one out for a while.
Of course, there's been lots of talk about players using multiple queues, hasn't there?
Indeed, yeah. I mean, you know, my wife watches the snooker with me, and she seems to think there's a lot more talk about cues and tips and all sorts than there ever has been. I think it's been more of a thing since COVID than beforehand. I don't remember it being this much of a thing 20 years ago.
I don't remember it. I would probably agree with Rachel there. I don't remember it being this much of a thing in terms of players talking about issues with their tips or players using different cues. It does feel like a much bigger...
Well, we also had Anthony McGill using a graphite cue a couple of years ago, didn't we? So...
And it was, that was a real... I mean, will do you think the two-piece queue is due a comeback? Or the one-piece queue, sorry? Do you think they're going to be, we're going to go all the way back to like the Fred Davis sort of style cues? I don't know.
Well, it's really interesting because I think, obviously, John Paris is sort of the sort of cue whisperer, if you like. He's the guy that all the top players go to, but there's a real sort of influx of sort of equipment from China now and from Thailand in particular. I know Sunny Akani actually does his own sort of cues, and there's lots of little independent cue makers. Obviously, my cue's made by the same guy that made Stuart Bingham's cue that he won the World Championship with. So, you know, there's lots of sort of independent people. It's not just John Paris with his monopoly anymore. There's obviously a lot of talk about the titanium ferrule versus the brass ferrule, and then you've got the sort of hardness of tip. Obviously, Mark Williams has an extremely hard tip, and others find that really awful to play with. Then you've got all of the chalk as well, you know, chalkgate. So there's a lot of talk about sort of equipment during snooker matches these days. It's like the VAR of snooker, isn't it?
Well, they were talking about Ronnie being the only one who uses the old chalk, and it's the only chalk that leaves marks on the table. And I think at some point this evening, Stephen Hendry said, I don't really know why he uses it, and maybe it's putting Higgins off, and I'm not saying we should ban it, and I was a bit like, I mean, how controversial can some chalk be that they're talking? He's suggesting that.
I mean, it's interesting. I thought exactly the same when he was talking about it, but it's something they always talk about with Ronnie. I believe Luca Brissell also uses the old chalk, and it's something that, as somebody that plays snooker, it's something that I noticed down the club. People that think they're professionals, they're all using the £15 chalks that the professionals use. I'm still grafting away with the old chalk, Ronnie style. And you can see that people sort of get furious by the sort of chalk marks on the table. And even though, all of the casual players are, of course, still using, the people that turn up to have an hour of snooker, they're still using old chalk because they're not going to pay £15 for a chalk. So... yeah, it's a strange one. I see it a lot of ways. I mean, Ronnie gets the cue ball cleaned a lot more than he used to. I think he used to not really care about kicks or anything like that. He seems to have gone the other way now. So I guess that does open the debate of, well, if you're worried about it, then why are you still using the old chalk? But I guess it is just a little bit of a psychological advantage for him in every match that he plays.
Yeah, like maybe he's just more comfortable with that. And it's that thing where when you're that good with a certain bit of chalk, you probably don't want to change it. Regardless of what people will say, you're like, no, I'm that good like this, that even though technically people might go, yeah, but you can have an advantage if you do X, Y, Z. In your head, you'll go, no, I'm pretty comfortable with this chalk, so...
Yeah, and it is a chalk that you have to really get used to. I think you can miscue a lot when you first move over to it, because it doesn't have quite the same grip on the cue ball when you use it. So that might be something. I mean, Ronnie doesn't practice as much as he used to. He doesn't play as much as he used to. So maybe he just feels like he hasn't had the time to sort of get into using it. Because we all know Ronnie, he loves a business deal, doesn't he? So I'm a bit surprised that Taum or some variant out there haven't sponsored Ronnie with some chalk yet. It is a bit of a strange one, because but hey, he's not using it, and I for one, I quite like seeing all the chalk marks on the table. I think there's some real nice feeling about it. So you sort of see the story of the match embedded on the table.
That is proper like nostalgia. Looking back, going, we've lost that part of snooker. We've lost that visual sort of map of the match, because there's no more. Bring back messy chalk. That is our slogan for this episode.
Bring back kicks, I say. I mean, you definitely, you still get kicks now and again, but kicks used to cause huge drama in matches. And I know it's annoying for the players, but I guess it all balances out, just like flukes, really. So yeah, that is something that we've lost from snooker, and certainly as the player, you don't want kicks ever, but as a viewer, it did bring about drama, and sort of I think maybe that's why snooker has become so much better scoring wise now. It's more predictable in terms of there's no kicks there now, pretty much. So players aren't disrupted in their rhythm. So maybe we're seeing less variation of, massive shocks you don't see so much anymore.
That is definitely a very reasonable theory. I mean, everyone let us know down below, or email us what are your opinions on chalk and on cues, because we're the kind of nerds who are more than happy to chat about that.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'd be interested to hear from people that play quite a lot down their local club, if they're seeing this similar sort of thing to me, of people going in with their town chalks, and I mean, they're even selling it at my club for £16 a block. So there you go. I'd
like to think that the only reason Ronnie's not using it is because he wants to save a few quid.
Yeah, Funnily enough, today I bought myself a new box of chalk, which is a dozen, and that set me back a 35 quid or something from johnparrottsports.com, by the way.
Does it have his face on the side of the chalk?
Well, not on the chalk, but it does have his face on the website.
Oh, good.
So yeah, but there you go. So chalk is reasonably expensive, but at least I'm getting 12 for 35 quid rather than 2.5 or 2 1/3 as it would be with the town. But anyway, there was some snooker today, would you believe? After we've talked 10 minutes about cues and tips and chalk and kicks. And it all started off, Tom, in the morning session with Mark Williams and Barry Hawkins continuing their match. And on the other side of the arena, strictly Chris Wakelin started his match against Neil Robertson. So, obviously both of those matches were pretty close for large portions of it. Certainly the Wakelin and Robertson match. I didn't watch too much of that this morning, but that ended at 4-4. But after the second session, Mark Williams sort of lost his way a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, it was. I don't know why, but for some reason it felt like he never really settled. He never really looked like being, the free-flowing, high-scoring player that he can be. It felt like similar to yesterday, his tactical game was still there, I think, but just in terms of, you going, he's going to make an 80 break, it just was no real evidence that he was going to be doing that, and that's such a big part of his game, and when he can't do that, and he's up against the Hawk, who actually is playing very well, and it will be interesting to see what happens in the rest of the championship because, of course, the even session, Hawkins wrapped up the victory. Ended up being fairly comfortable, really. At one point, I think Williams would, he'd need to win about 6 frames in a row to have a chance. Do you know what I mean? So Hawkins won fairly comfortably, and it's Hawkins against Mark Allen, and one of them is going to be in the semi-final, Joe.
Well, yeah, of course, Kyron and Mark finished off this morning, didn't they? They were 7-9 overnight in Mark Allen's favour, and after Mark Allen had been 5-0 up in that match, it was quite impressive that Kyron was that close. I think Kyron won the first frame this morning, but then it sort of went wrong after that. Mark Allen running out a quite comfortable winner in the end, 13-9. Kyron, obviously somebody with cue problems. I do think that, as much as I love Kyron, I do think that there's very little excuse for having cue issues when he didn't actually play in the Players' Championship or the Tour Championship. He had a good run of months leading up to the World Championship. You feel like a player of Kyron's quality and work ethic should be doing better than that and being ready for the World Championship with a cue that they trust. In my opinion,
Hendry and Steve Davis were both quite adamant of the same thing. So you're in good company there, Joe. I would say that Joe Davis, yeah, Joe Hannard, Steve Davis, Stephen Hendry, all three of them saying the same thing. Do you know what? I reckon Kyron. Steve Davis said it, he's gone, maybe. Hendry said it, he's gone, maybe. Then when he hears Joe Hannard said it, he's going to go, okay, no, they're right. I think that'll be the one that makes him go, yeah, I got to fix this. Because it's kind of bizarre, really, isn't it, to be at the biggest tournament of all and going, I've got problems with my cue when... Yeah. But he used the same cue to win the Masters. It doesn't really make sense.
Well, absolutely. He seems to do all right in and amongst the balls, but his long game hasn't been good. His safety game hasn't been great. And yeah, it's been a bit of a poor season for Kyron. He did win 2 invitational tournaments, won the Shanghai Masters and the Masters, of course, which massive tournaments, massive things to have on your CV, but going out second round of the World Championship sort of sums up his year, which is a real shame because last year he really backed up that World Championship victory with 4 ranking event wins, was looking really, really good going into the Crucible. Obviously, sort of a freak result, if you like, in the end, put him out of that, and he doesn't seem to have really recovered into this year, but he's going to have to work hard over the summer, I think, to get back to where he should be.
He did feel a bit like more than just cue problems. Maybe that was just masking the fact that he probably is just. Maybe he's just a bit worn out because he had such a good, season last season off the back of winning the World Championships, and so he's going to be done so much, and then of course won the Masters, and I think eventually that maybe catches up with you, and maybe it's just taken a while for it to catch up with him. Now, hopefully, a rest will do him good, and he'll be back to his best next season, hopefully.
Yeah, I know he's had some family issues as well, so we wish him the best and want to see him back on his best form next season because he is a joy to watch when he's playing well. So those were the 2 results of the day, if you like. Of course, sort of expected with the Mark Williams one with a 10-6 overnight lead for Barry Hawkins, but he gave it a good go tonight. And Mark Allen getting through against Kyron Wilson. So, that's going to be a good match. Guaranteed left-hander in the semi-finals as well, on that side of the draw. And then we obviously had the Hossein Vafai Judd Trump match starting this afternoon as well. Hossein got off to quite a good start in that match, really. To be 4-4 with Judd after the first session, I think he would have definitely taken that at the start.
Hold on, what's that? It's an impasse between Trump and Iran. Who saw this coming?
Yes, well, the ceasefire will continue until tomorrow, Tom, when they will cross queues again tomorrow afternoon.
But good to see Hossein start well, especially because I think a lot of people would have just gone, it's world number 1 against the only qualifier. They would have written him off quite easily, really. A bit like people wrote off Ding very easily against Xintong, and it's nice to see him hold his own and, after this first session, be still in with a massive chance, still kind of equal with Judd. And it'll be interesting to see whether he can keep it up because, it's that kind of thing. If after the second session it's 8-all, then it's anyone's game, isn't it?
Absolutely, and Judd's there for the taking. He's not had a good season, Judd. I don't think I remember really a tournament Judd playing outstanding snooker in. He's sort of just grinding his way through results wise, isn't he? I think I guess he's quite an intimidating character to play against, isn't he? He's got that sort of aura of like Ronnie, players sort of crumbling against them. I don't think that's the case for the very top players against Judd, which is why he hasn't really picked up any silverware this season. But for players like Vafai, I mean, he won't be scared of Judd Trump, but will he be able to get over the line in a 3-session match? I mean, it could be a big moment in his career if he can beat Trump at the Crucible.
It's worth remembering as well that I don't think Vafai's mind works like most players. I still remember him playing against Ronnie and smacking it into the pack because he thought Ronnie disrespected him or ever. So I don't think he'll be approaching it the same as the vast majority of players. I think, he's a very headstrong sort of player who doesn't seem to think in the same way as a usual qualifier. And of course, he is someone who he has been, in and around the top 16 recently. So he's not going to think I'm a qualifier. He's going to think, yes, this is where I should be. So it doesn't strike me as the kind of player to be overawed by people. He seems to have a lot of self-confidence, and I mean, it'd be good for him, and of course, massive for Iranian snooker if he managed to reach the quarterfinals.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it helped actually that was very much the low-profile match, perhaps of the whole day, along with the Neil Robertson Chris Wakelin matchup. Because on the other side of the arena, we had probably the equal footing big match of the day. I'll go in chronological order. Was Zhao Xintong's second session against Ding Junhui, and what a session that was as well. I mean, Ding Junhui stole a couple of frames. Zhao stole a couple of frames. It could have been any scoreline really, but Zhao coming out 9-7. Obviously, I'll be watching that in the morning in a matter of minutes as people are watching this and listening to this. I really, really hope this one's going to go down to the wire because Ding's up for it. He is massively up for it. Zhao's throwing in some great spells, but actually is still struggling, I think, overall. So it's going to be a nervy one.
I'd love to see Ding nick it in a decider. I would love to see that, just because he still is such a classy player, and he's not been, the player that he was. He's not been consistently winning stuff, but I didn't like the way that when that was the draw, everyone kind of jumped to, Xintong's going to win. It's Xintong's the top dog from China, so he's definitely going to beat Ding. I thought it was a little bit disrespectful to Ding, and it'd be really nice to see him sort of prove a point that he still is a big game player, because he's not in the top 16 for no reason. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, I'd love to see Ding sneak that one.
Well, we will see. Not long to find out now, but he's going to have to be at his best. I think Xintong can win in his B game. Ding's going to have to be at his best, I think, because he's got to overhaul that 2-frame advantage. But it'll be interesting to see who copes with the pressure the best, because there's record numbers of people watching back home in China. We know Ding's had that pressure on his shoulders for so long, and it's held him back really in his career. That's sort of crazy response that Zhao Xintong got last year when he won the World Championship, and now he's trying to break the curse and win it again. It'll be interesting to see how pressure affects them in that match, but it's going to be a cracker, I think, and fingers crossed for Ding. It would, I think it would be lovely to see him have a good run at the Crucible the year after. Of course, Zhao Xintong was the sort of trailblazer, if you like, in the World Championship. So we will see, but that leaves us with one more match, Tom, and this was the big billing for the day. It's the one that everybody was looking forward to before a ball was even potted in the qualifiers. John Higgins versus Ronnie O'Sullivan, their 7th meeting at the Crucible. Their current head-to-head at the Crucible is 3 each, and in the last 5 matches that has involved them, the winner has gone on to win the tournament. Their overall head-to-head, Tom, is 33-32, so it couldn't be closer between these two. They're class acts on and off the table. And it didn't let us down, did it?
It was. I mean, Ronnie, of course, was exceptional. Like, he was just playing brilliant snooker, and it was great to see those two players, clashing cues and going at each other, and both kind of playing, to a decent standard. I think there was an element, though. You did say yesterday that you remembered the last time that they played each other, and Ronnie really outclassed Higgins, and you said you hope it didn't happen again, and that did kind of happen. It's not over yet, but it did feel like
I think it's a very big first 4 frames tomorrow. Tomorrow night's session. Because John didn't get too many chances tonight. Ronnie was keeping it tight. There was a few early on where, Hendry and Doherty were criticising Ronnie for not taking on pots. But I think it's been justified. He didn't want to give John easy chances, and John never settled throughout the whole night because of that. Still came out with 2 frames. I mean, Ronnie missed a sitter of a pink. It could have easily been a 7-1 session. This, so yeah, 6-2. Big first 4 frames tomorrow. But even if Ronnie loses the next 2 sessions 5-3, it's going to be a 12-all. So it takes the pressure off him a little bit.
Yeah, you'd have to. It'd have to be an incredible performance, I think, from Higgins or an incredible capitulation from Ronnie from here. You don't expect Ronnie to lose too many sessions 6-2 himself, so it feels like he's guaranteed a lead going into the 3rd session. If there is a 3rd session, who knows how it's going to go, but it does feel like he's guaranteed that. So, yeah,
however, just
however,
a little bit of trivia of class of 92 past. I believe in the 2020 World Championship, either the second round or the quarterfinal, where it was Ronnie versus Mark Williams. Mark Williams won the first session 6-2, and Ronnie came back out and won the next session 6-2, so it ended up 8-8 after 2 sessions. And I think Ronnie went on to win 13-10. So,
well,
who knows? Who knows? Higgins is more than capable of going out tomorrow and getting 6-2, but that pressure of having to win frames for Ronnie, he just has to share them now and win every other frame, and that's massive.
Yeah, it is massive. And I think I remember that happening with Ronnie against Mark Williams. So if that happened against
Williams,
Mark, yeah, that's something me and Joe started calling him off mic. It's good to just finally get it recorded.
Yes, Mark Williams, and we are gonna definitely make sure that is on a t-shirt somewhere, along with Smurf 360. And I tell you what, Hazel, these pockets are tight. That needs to be on a t-shirt as well.
That has to be, yeah. Coming next season. Let's do that for next season.
But anyway, looking ahead to Sunday's play, morning session, of course, is the conclusion of the Zhao Xintong and Ding Junhui match. 9-7, that is at the moment, going to a conclusion. What's he laughing at?
Sorry, I just thought of Ding Junhui.
Ding Junhui. And then Mark Selby is starting off, the last person to start off the second round against Wu Yize, who, of course, played really, really well in the first round. Mark Selby was good against Jack Jones, but wasn't put under any pressure, so that'll be an interesting one. Then a bit of a dare I say it, low-key afternoon with Chris Wakelin and Neil Robertson's middle session, Hossein Vafai and Judd Trump's middle session. Neither of them can finish tomorrow because they're locked at 4 each. But then it's a cracking night once again at the Crucible. John Higgins and Ronnie O'Sullivan's middle session, and Mark Selby and Wu Yize on the other side of the arena. Real clash of styles in that match as well.
It must be really strange to be Sean Murphy right now, because by the time he plays his next round match...
I imagine it usually is.
Well, I imagine it is permanently strange to be, but even stranger to be Sean Murphy now, because by the time he plays his next match, it'll feel like a lifetime since he last picked up his cue.
I know, yeah. But it's got to be good for him to have a bit of a rest, especially after how intense his first round match was.
Do you think when Sean Murphy's practicing in his practice room at home and scores a century, do you think he still does a Smurf 360 with no one there?
Yeah, I think he does, yeah. I also would love to know what Sean Murphy mutters to himself. You know, when he's walking out to the arena and he's just sort of saying things to the I assume he's saying like thank you or hello or something. But I'd love him to be mic'd up. I want to hear what he's like mumbling while he's doing his big Smurf. But,
do you think he's singing along to Burn Baby Burn?
I mean, he could be. He could be. I didn't think that until now, but yeah. That would be pretty special if he was doing that. But no, it's going to be a Super Sunday at the Crucible. Obviously, really looking forward myself to being there bright and early, 10 o'clock in the morning to see a bit of history. That it could be a match that we're talking about for many years to come, that one with Xintong and Ding. So very excited for that.
Well, last year, Joe, he came back and he brought us he did a little video of Mark Allen's 147. So will you have anything special like that this year? It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Well, who knows? Who knows? But yes, looking forward to it nonetheless. What I'm also looking forward to, Tom, is one of our regular features. We're going to do 2 of them today to celebrate Super Saturday. We have got Cue the Music and, of course, our daily quiz Wakelin. So, Tom, what would you like to begin with?
Let's go quiz Wakelin in honour of the man himself playing very well today.
Well, there you go. So Tom asked me before before we went live to quiz him on all things Ronnie O'Sullivan. Now, I was quizzed previously on episode 81 on Ronnie, and I got a break of 14. It was quite a disappointing performance, actually.
Very.
Considering. But we'll see what Tom has got up his sleeve today. So, how do you feel about your knowledge of Ronnie O'Sullivan?
Oh, I feel like I know probably more about him than most players, so I'd like to believe that puts me in good stead. But considering how well you did on Ding Junhui, and I have no idea how this is going to go. Ding Junhui.
Yeah. But yes, we will see how it goes. Now, Tom's not going to get any repeat questions, or at least I'll try not to. So I'm going to read from the bottom, Tom, if that's okay with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the way it works, we will build a break. I'll ask Tom a red question, then he will pick a colour. We'll flip back to red, and so on and so on. He gets 3 misses, and if he misses 3 times, and he concedes the frame. So don't do that, Tom. Don't do that.
I'll try not to.
So high score is 34 for your nicknames knowledge. 30 was Ding Junhui yesterday. Let's see how Tom does on Ronnie O'Sullivan. So here we go. So starting with a red, Tom. Ronnie is a member of the Magic Circle.
False.
Correct.
Oh, God.
1. Anything to add to that, Tom?
Well, I just thought if anyone's going to be a member, it'd be Sean Murphy. He's the magician. That would make sense.
Yes, absolutely.
Or the Wizard of Wishaw, maybe.
The Wizard of Wishaw, indeed. Pick a colour, Tom. Pick a colour.
Brown.
Oh, he's going the Ding Junhui brown from yesterday. Okay. I'm going to read from the bottom again, just so that we don't cross over any questions. What is Ronnie's middle name?
The Rocket?
Is that your guess?
No, but it would make sense. Oh, it's some like old man name, probably, isn't it? Because Ronnie's quite an old man name. But am I just saying that because it's my grandpa's name? Probably. Don't know this, Joe. Do you know this?
I do, actually, yeah.
Why?
Because I believe it's on the blurb of this book. So I think...
Hold on, Joe. I'm just going to go have a look at something quickly.
It doesn't have the answer there. Sadly. But I think we talked about it in a previous podcast.
Charles.
Sadly not. It's Antonio.
Oh, for God's sake.
There you go. Anyway, he's still on 1. Back to red. Ronnie has won more prize money than any other player.
True.
That is true. Correct. To pick a colour.
Yellow.
Oh, he's going for the yellow. Right. Which player from Northern Ireland did Ronnie beat in the final of the 2018 UK Championship, at which Joe was in the crowd?
That must be Mark Allen.
Correct. It was Mark Allen. I think he beat him 10-6 in the end in that one. Okay, 4.
Red.
Okay. Yeah, back to red, Tom. Don't worry. Ronnie has released 3 novels.
True.
Yes, that's true.
Framed. That's one of them.
It is, yeah. I don't know
what's
the other two.
They've got like
It's like the triangle or something like that.
Yeah, I think they've all got like weird snooker puns, don't they?
Yeah. Who knew that Ronnie would come up with snooker puns? It's not something you would expect from him, is it? Let's be honest. Okay, right. Pick a colour. So you're currently on 5.
Green.
Green ball. Okay. Who was Ronnie's opponent when he made the 147 break in the 1997 World Championship? By the 147 break, I mean the fastest one.
I know this. It's in my head somewhere. Is it someone Price? Mark? Mike? Price? Mark? No, that can't. That's not. Mark Price? No. Oh, God. Michael? Mark? Oh, I hate this. Because it's in there. It's in there, Joe. It's just not in there at 6 minutes past 11 on a Saturday evening. Michael. It's not right, but it's all I can think of, and so I'm going to say Michael Price. It's definitely not right.
I will give you that because it's Mick Price. So I will give you that. I will give you it because Mick is obviously short for Michael and Mike. So
get in. I've never
8.
been so happy about a green.
8. Okay, Ronnie has never lost to Mark Williams in a ranking final.
False.
Correct. Do you know at least one final that he's lost in?
I can't think of any off the top of my head. No recent ones, anyway. But
2024 Tour Championship final.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That Joe was at as well. There you go.
Oh, I'd forgotten.
Okay, so 9. Which colour are you going to go for?
Blue.
He's going for the blue, the tricky blue. In 2024, which tennis player said, "I watch snooker because of Ronnie O'Sullivan"?
Novak Djokovic.
Correct. Well done.
14. Never been so happy for the existence of Novak Djokovic in my life.
14. Back to red. Ronnie has won the most Triple Crown titles of any player.
True.
True. Correct. 15. So you've now beaten my record of Ronnie O'Sullivan knowledge. Okay, pick a colour.
That feels good. That feels good. Let's celebrate, Joe, with a black ball.
Ooh, black ball. How many Premier League finals did Ronnie win by a whitewash?
Two.
Well, he's gone for the black. And like that little black in 1985, it just doesn't want to go in, and it's staying over the pocket. It was 3, Tom, sadly.
Madness.
So you stay on 15, and you've got one more strike, and then you're out. I'm afraid. So If only I'd not taken Mike Price, eh? Ronnie is the youngest ever ranking event winner.
True.
Correct. 16. Which colour?
Pink.
Pink ball. Which international event did Ronnie win as an amateur in 1991?
I don't know, the Kit Kat World Open. Like, I just, I mean, I know he didn't win the English Amateur Championship, and that's not international, I presume.
Mm.
I mean, is it just like the World Under-21 Open? Or something like that?
Is that your answer?
The WBS World Under-21 Open.
Well, he's gone for the pink. And he's missed it by an absolute mile. However, where's that pink going? What's in the pocket?
No, what?
Can you get your breath, Hazel?
Can't get my breath, Hazel. What?
He won the World Under-21 Championship, so I'll accept that, Tom. The fact he said Under-21, I will give that. So, 22. Right, number 9. Ronnie was the first member of the class of 92 to become world champion.
False. I think it was Mark Williams.
It wasn't actually. It was Higgins, 98. Okay. Yeah. But yes, it was. He was the third of the class of 92. So 23. Colour? Does he go for the black to tie the Ding Junhui? I thought you were going to go for the black to tie the Ding Junhui knowledge.
All right, fine. I want to go for the black.
No.
No, what? Oh, what?
Well, you can if you want.
No, I've already called it. The ref's taken my decision. I can't.
Yeah. You've nominated blue, mate.
Yeah.
I think you'd rather this question anyway, because I think you might get this. So, right. By what scoreline has Ronnie won 3 World Championship finals?
18-12.
Well, this is to go just 2 points behind Ding Junhui on 28. It's quite an acute angle, this blue. And he's gone for it. And it's caught the near jaw and stays out, I'm afraid. Sorry, Tom.
What was the answer?
18-8.
Oh, it's even bigger.
He beat Ali Carter in 2008. He beat Kyron in 2020. And he also beat somebody in 2004. Who I won't mention, but yeah, he did. Yeah, but there you go. Tom Mayhew, 23.
Well, I'll take that. I was thinking one of them was going to be Barry Hawkins, but that must have maybe.
No, I think that was 1813. I think.
Okay.
It's something like that. And then,
I'll take that. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. Pretty good. And that puts you into a grand position, Tom. So that was 23. That will put you into a very nice 4th place on the leaderboard, just behind me on the Embassy cigarette cards, but ahead of my Mark Williams knowledge and ahead of your John Higgins knowledge.
Well, and just for the both the viewers and the listeners to know, one of mine and Joe's post-season tasks is to finally sort out our website so these leaderboards will be accessible somewhere, because we know we always talk about them, and we know everyone's nerds like us. You go, I want to look at the statistics. So eventually,
especially
this will be
the new people, you know.
Yeah, we will basically have our own version of Snooker Loopy Podcast Q Tracker, where you'd be able to look at all the different scores and all the different rankings, and also be able to go, oh, could I beat that? So that'd be a nice thing we'll eventually aiming to sort out later in the year.
Yes, absolutely. But shall we do a little bit of Fanzheng email that I've received before we kick off with some cue the music? Sorry.
If he got in touch with us, then it would be Fanzheng email.
Well, who knows? He might be in my inbox right now. You never know. So anyway, Matt from Middlesbrough got in touch, as he often does, with something we wanted to mention yesterday, actually. And this is titled A Saucy Friday at the Crucible. So he says, "Good evening, Hazel. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Vicky. I'm sure by the time you've received this email, you'll likely be reviewing Friday's action. Well, in fact, it's Saturday's action, Matt. Sorry. Firstly, we had a juicy bit of Snooker Extra on TNT with Radzi sneaking into people's dressing rooms, apparently. So I think he'd sent a previous email of that. So we'll maybe have a look at that next week sometime. Now we've got this ahead of Friday morning session. Who knew Williams versus Hawkins and Murphy versus Gudong contained such explicit adult content? Maybe it's Williams entering the arena fully naked as he teased if he'd won the championship, or God forbid Sean Murphy doing the same while doing the Smurf 360. Matt, so this of course refers to some hilarious gaff from the BBC where they had on their iPlayer page about the upcoming session with Mark Williams versus Barry Hawkins and Sean Murphy's second session with Zhao Gudong. It had a parental guidance message of contains some sexual content and disturbing scenes. Which I will definitely try and overlay that onto the video so people can see that. But I mean, Sean Murphy, he won with a session to spare. It was some pretty sexy snooker that he was playing, so perhaps they preempted it.
Well, when he spins around, that is quite disturbing as well. So I think entirely justified.
Absolutely. So thanks for pointing out the ridiculous, Matt. We do love you. Another one from Archie Smith. He says, "Dear both, hope you're well, certainly well enjoying the snooker." He was currently watching Mark Allen and Kyron at the time of writing. Sean's win wasn't a big surprise for him because he always finds that every year there's one or two round two games that go with a session to spare. But apparently the COVID year 2020 actually had all round two games finishing to schedule, which he finds quite remarkable, using usually the closer games come in the quarterfinals. I think Hazel was losing the plot last night with all these nicknames, Trump versus Iran, and she's got a few statistics wrong as well, which is uncommon for her, perhaps spending too much time in Bingham's hot tub. Talking of Stuart, he was on Sean's winning session with JP and he sounds a bit bored, much like Matthew Stevens is on Channel 5, and he doesn't know many stats going right back to day 2. He was saying about Ali Carter, he's been in the top 16 for God knows how long. Not the greatest insight. Perhaps a controversial opinion, but I really do not find Stephen Hallworth a good commentator. He talks a bit much for my liking and isn't super entertaining to listen to. Going back to day one on the BBC Sport website, there was actually some features which I don't think were on the main BBC, but one of them was a Q&A with Zhang Anda, who turns out to have quite a liking for John Higgins. He said he was his favourite player, one who he would want to play in a Crucible final, and the hilarious one was when he said who he wanted to play a film of his life. He clearly doesn't know any actors or understand the question. So Zhang Anda wants John Higgins to play him in the film of his life.
I mean, I'd go see it straight away.
It's China's snooker panda, John Higgins. I said last time I got a high break of 23 on Mark Williams's quiz Wakelin. Well, I betted it with a high break of 26 on Sean Murphy and had a very silly thought of Joe when explaining angles and degrees to students to use the Smurf 360s to show the angles Smurf 90s, 180s and 270s. Thank you, Hazel, Archie Smith. Thank you very much for that, Archie. Brilliant. What are your thoughts about Zhang Anda there, Tom? And his thoughts about Stephen Hallworth.
Well, firstly, we need to finance this film. I would pay so much good money to see John Higgins. And nothing else changes, so he's still got like Chinese parents and stuff like that. He's still playing in. He's going to a school surrounded by Chinese children, and it's just John Higgins.
At his current age.
Yeah. We don't de-age him. We just dress him up in a school uniform and pretend he's 10 years old.
You just know, Tom, somebody's going to Photoshop John Higgins into a classroom full of Chinese students, aren't they? You just know that that's happening with the craziness of this podcast. But yes, absolutely brilliant. You know what, Tom? I'm going to say it really quietly, but I sort of agree with Archie about Stephen Hallworth. Not massively. I do like him as a commentator, but I think he does talk just a little bit too much for my liking.
Well, I'm not going to go crazy and say, oh, he's the best, because partly we like him because it's Stephen Hallworth, and I think I'd say he's decent, but clearly he's new to it. Do you know what I mean? Similar with
he's only 30, you know.
Well, exactly. He's new to life. He's new to snooker. He's new to all this stuff.
Just like John Higgins, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I think, I feel like he's just got potential. He's not there yet. But then I'm sure even the first commentaries by even the greats, they're still finding their feet. So I give him a little bit of leeway for that. Same as what I said about Bingham. I don't think he's there yet. I think there was a clip I sent to Joe just last night of Bingham really freezing up on air, and it's quite funny. And I think he's laughed at himself. And I think you have to give these people a bit of leeway and just go, they're learning. They can't always get it right.
And they're not journalists, are they? Like
no, exactly. Yeah, and bless him, Bingham's not there for his excitement. He's there because he's a former world champion. Do you know what I mean? And so I feel like he's someone who he'll either get a lot better and then be someone who we know commentating for decades time, or he might be someone who tries it for a bit, goes, it's not for me, and that's fine. So yeah. One of the two. I'd still rather Bingham than Lee Walker any day of the week.
Indeed, yeah. We have talked about that quite a few times, haven't we? To say the least. But we also had an email from Sam Jones, who I don't believe we've had an email from before. So welcome to the Fan Zheng Yi email inbox, Sam Jones. He says,
Good evening,
hi,
Sam.
lads. Good evening, Sam. Hi, lads. I've really enjoyed listening to the podcast for the first week of the championship. Fair play to you for making one every day and balancing that commitment with work. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
What do you think of the commentary this year with a big Virgo-shaped hole to fill? It's nice to see Dennis, Doherty, Parrott, Davis and Hendry maintaining their professionalism, sense of humour and technical insights. I think Stephen Hallworth has made a fairly positive BBC debut, bringing just enough drama and excitement without the contrived cringiness of Alan McManus.
Ooh, wow. I quite like angles.
People, yeah, not many people would agree with that, I don't think. I miss Angles on the BBC. I wish he was still on the BBC. He's wasted on Eurosport. But anyway, however, the one commentator I struggle to tolerate is Lee Walker, which is a shame for me, as Mark Williams is my favourite player. I agree with the sentiment you've hinted on the podcast before. The BBC should not be letting coaches commentate on matches featuring players they coach. This goes for Joe Perry and Neil Robertson too, where the bias is even more obvious. 100% agree. It is my biggest bugbear that the BBC are doing at the minute. And even Lee Walker was commentating on the final session of Mark tonight. I don't mind it now and again, but when it's every session, it's a bit of a mick take, I think. Aside from this, Walker never tells the viewer anything they couldn't see for themselves. He never seems to anticipate the next shot, just describes the last one, and even then never with a great level of analysis. He has an obsession with saying how many points in front or behind one player is, even when it's not important, when we can literally see the numbers on the screen. Also, his way of speaking comes across as very unnatural, and he gets so close to the mic that you can hear all of his mouth sounds. Stick to coaching, Lee, then maybe Mark would win a few more matches. Keep up the great content, guys. Best wishes, Sam. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. I'm not sure Lee Walker will be thanking you, but we thank you, and I think we largely agree with you as well. Yeah, but you know, I think the BBC are trying out new commentators, but I think that they're probably 10 years too late in doing all of this, and that's why they haven't found good replacements for JV. You know, very unexpected that JV's not with us, but you know, even 5 years ago, they were planning to get rid of him and Dennis anyway, so they should have really had some sort of succession plan in place. It was nice tonight, actually, that it was Ken sort of on lead commentary. I think they should use Ken a lot more for that. I think he can do it. He's got the sort of humour, he's got the sort of rise and fall in his voice that you need to sort of bring that tension coming as the match reaches its crescendo.
Ken and Stephen as a duo, I really enjoyed tonight. I think those two work together really well, and they both, you know, obviously have a lot of experience. They're both very respected in the game, and they both just kind of balance off each other very well. I think they're a good duo. I'd like to hear again, and I agree. I think Ken really, more than most of the pundits, is one of the few who's very good at punditry and commentary. Whereas, you know, I feel like Steve Davis, I don't feel like he's got as much passion for commentary whenever you hear him. No. That's why he's not in the box as much anymore.
He's brilliant as a pundit, isn't he, Steve Davis? But yeah, as a commentator, he's fine. I would never complain about having Steve Davis commentating, but yeah, he would never do sort of last session of the World Final, would he? And I haven't actually heard much of him this year in the commentary box.
I think he's maybe stepped away from it. I definitely know that, you know, I think there were some reports about him not enjoying it as much as the punditry, which is, I mean, it's big of him to admit that and realise that and step away from it. Yeah, I mean, the mouth noises. Like Joe Perry used to be really bad at that, and he's better at it now, thankfully. But it used to be just all sort of noises all the time, and I was just like, oh, someone tell this man how to use a microphone before paying him to do it. It was so irritating.
Yeah, I get quite a few comments of that on my YouTube channel. I don't know what I do, but there was also a thing years and years ago of when I'd have a sip of tea or something to be like, oh, stop slurping your tea. Blah, 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 blah. What I always find funny is when you can hear the chair creaking as well in the commentary box. That's always funny. But speaking of mouth noises, have you ever noticed that you can always hear Steve Davis breathing when he's talking in the pundit chair? He's like, oh, that was a fabulous performance by Ronnie O'Sullivan. Watch out for it the next time. Everybody watch out for that when you next watch Steve Davis. It'll ruin it forever. But
well, another thing that will also ruin it for you, Ken Doherty licks his lips a lot, and once you notice
he does.
You can't stop. Now
I know exactly what you mean.
I was watching snooker with me and my dad were watching it, and now every time we always goes, and now we've started calling him Serpent because he keeps going like that all the time, and we've started watching him going, is he going to do it? Yeah, he's done it. That's become the enjoyment for us. Is just watching him go. Like you can't unsee it, and it's just become. I'm just fascinated by it now, and I keep just every time he's on, that's all I can wait for him to do, and he does it a lot, and it's just brilliant. I love it.
That's an absolute cracker, that Tom. That is brilliant. I have realised that actually. So yeah, thanks for that, Patsy. Anyway, thank you for your fan-sharing email, everybody. If you want to get in touch, please do email snookerloopypodcast@gmail.com or contact us on Twitter or Facebook, and also in the comment section of the YouTube videos, of which we've been getting a lot lately. So thank you very much for all of your support on that. But one final section to end this Super Saturday before we go. It's going to be a quick one, this, but it is. Cue the music, Tom.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's Cue the Music. It's another album, another song from Banksy's album, and I'm quite looking forward to hearing how it sounds.
While he's licking his lips.
I'm just going to be doing it for the end of the episode, because genuinely, like, honestly, earlier I was chatting back to my dad, and then for the first kind of 5 minutes of Higgins against Ronnie, me, my dad, and my mum all just sat there, just going like, and then occasionally just going, just because we found it so funny. But it's not about that. This is about Banksy's album, and we look forward to the new song. We've not done this one yet, Joe. We've chosen Big Boy Breaks, We've Been Working VIP mix by Roy of the Ravers versus Johnny Sniff.
Yeah, now this is all from the album called Where's the Cue Ball Going? So I'm not sure where this song is going. We might find out after this. Shall we give it a listen, Tom?
Let's give this a listen.
First question, what is acid?
Acetic acid.
Here we go. 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 Here we go.
Here we go.
Acid.
I like that. I like that.
Well, Tom, I think we're both maybe just relieved to have come through the other side of that.
It shows mine and Joe's commitment to this section that we didn't turn it off after a minute. That we actually thought we'll give it time. We'll see if there's anything better.
Yeah, Banksy did say there was going to be some that we'd absolutely hate on the album.
Banksy was spot on.
Yeah, I mean, it would turn this podcast from a slightly, 12 rated podcast into a 18 plus, the way Tom was reacting to that most of the way through, licking his lips all that way as well, Ken Doherty style. But wow, I don't even really know what that was meant to be about.
Did they misread the brief that it's supposed to be a John Virgo tribute album? Or I
mean, there was a bit of John Virgo in it, but I love that.
It was him going, I like it, or I love that.
I assume it was him.
Yeah. Why did they let this one get through to the album? This should have been on
it's also number 3 on the album, Tom. So it's right up there. It's not like a bonus track or anything. So yeah. There you go.
There better not be more of this, Banksy, or I'll be fuming. It's better be the only one.
After what happened in the last episode with Six Pockets on the Table, that was a great tribute by Mr. Ben. Go on then. Let's see what we're gonna give it.
But minus 500, is that possible?
Oh wow! Well, that's a record for Tom.
They kept talking about acid. What are you on about, mate?
But what I assume it was a big break episode. I assume that's what it was. It was like a question, and it was Jim Davidson asking a question, and the answer that was given was acid. I don't know. Yeah, that beats your worst one, which was the BBC snooker theme by the Big Bill Werbeneck 147 Pints Mix. You gave that -4.
Yeah.
And Wallop by Chaz and Dave, you gave that 0. I'm not going to go into the negatives. I've never went into the negatives on this. I'm going to give it 0.5. I'll give it 0.5 for effort, which
you are far too generous.
Which gives it, Tom, an average score of -249.75. So that might be tough to beat for bottom spot on our calendar. But Banksy did say we would hate some of the tracks. There could be worse on there, Tom. Or should I call you Ken? But yeah, we will... I suppose we will leave it there for today, and we will be back tomorrow. I think we'll leave it till Monday's episode, or the Monday's Roundup episode, for me to sort of talk about Crucible experiences and things, because Monday is a bit of another weird day where there is the potential of no snooker at all, because it's all final session matches. But luckily,
no
Tom,
snooker at all.
Luckily, that can't happen this year, but that is possible every other year.
Oh, I thought I couldn't get any sadder after that song, but the idea of no snooker, Joe, would just take the biscuit.
Well, wait till a week on Tuesday, Tom. But yeah, as always, get in touch down below, leave a like if you enjoy, and all of that good stuff. And we will see you tomorrow, rounding up another super day at the Crucible. Super Sunday is to come. Enjoy, everybody.